It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day to talk about all the gambling news America has to offer. Won't you be tuning into this week's episode of Play USA to Z? Heidi ho, neighbor. I'm Jessica Welman, back again for another installment of gaming news and headlines. If you want to be my friend, and I would love for you to be my friend, be sure to like, subscribe, and get notifications of when your favorite neighbor is at home and talking about sports betting and gambling. Today I'm ready with my cardigan and my favorite furry friends to learn and to teach you, the audience, about what's going on in the gaming world. First, we'll take a trip to the neighborhood of make-believe to learn about a new deal with Penn National and Rush Street. Then, we'll get a lesson on a new concept for some boys and girls in gaming. Can you say trademark infringement? I knew you could. After that, we'll see if we can help Governor Andrew Cuomo and his tribal friends learn to get along. And finally, our friends in Michigan help to give us a fun math lesson. I'm so glad you are here to go on this journey with me. Before we get started, though, we've got a little train ride to hop to travel to the neighborhood of make-believe. I think I hear it coming down the track right now. The reason we had to travel to this land of pretend is to talk about a business deal between Penn National, aka Barstool, and Rush Street. Why? Because every element of it is actually not real yet. Okay, so top line, the deal is essentially a market access deal, which is pretty common in the sports betting space. Not every casino company is in every state, so they team up and give each other access in markets they can't get to otherwise. I've talked a lot about New York sports betting and how if there is a single skin casino model, there would be a ton of brands on the outside looking in. One of those brands is Barstool. However, with this new deal, there's hope they will get into the Empire State after all. Rush Street, which owns Bet Rivers and the Rivers casinos across the country, agreed to give Penn what's called second skin access on their license. Does this mean Barstool's guaranteed entry to New York? No, it doesn't. This is all just pretend for now. In order for it to happen, the state of New York would have to first not opt for the sports betting plan offered by Governor Andrew Cuomo, which sounded like it would be a lottery-operated single brand. Instead, lawmakers would then have to pass the Adabo-Pretlo version of a sports betting bill that allows for 2 skins per casino. Once that happens, Barstool can get into New York. So to put it one way, instead of having a guaranteed first-class ticket to New York betting, Barstool and Penn are flying on standby. What does Rush Street get in exchange for possibly giving Penn market access in New York? Pretend access to 4 other states, only one of which currently even has legal sports betting. Penn is giving Rush Street a path to Missouri, Ohio, Texas, and Maryland. Now, Maryland voters approved legalizing sports betting, but the state doesn't yet have a model or regulations or even much of a plan at all about how to do it. Presuming whatever they do come up with includes casinos, and those casinos get more than 1 license each, Penn will leverage its Hollywood casino Perryville property to get Bet Rivers into the state. As for Ohio, Missouri, and Texas, these plans are about as real as a flying horse. All the deal does is set Rush Street up to potentially benefit only if 1, sports betting passes, 2, the version of the bill involves Penn properties, and 3, the bill doesn't allow for an open market that Rivers can enter on its own in the first place. The Texas element's particularly far-fetched because it would have to include racetracks, getting multiple skins in order for it to happen. So there's only a single tribal casino in Texas. There are no commercial ones. However, Penn National does have an ownership stake in Sam Houston Racetrack. So a bill would need to offer licenses to racetracks, hold out on access to outside groups, and give those racetracks multiple licenses in order for this bill and deal to even come into play. Oh, hey, looks like it's mail time, and I have a letter from a little boy named Davy P. Dear Miss Jessica, I really like to use a phrase when making tweets and TikToks that make my viewers laugh. Now, a mean old man has sent me a letter telling me I can't. It says I have to cease and desist, and that I am committing trademark infringement. Why can't I just have fun? And what's trademark infringement? Signed, El Presidente? What a silly nickname you have, Davy. I think I've heard of your predicament. According to my lovely neighbor Legal Sports Report, you were using the phrase, good teams win, great teams cover, to market and sell your sportsbook product. Then, the Westgate, a long-standing and popular Las Vegas sportsbook, sent you multiple communications from their attorney reminding you that they have the trademark on that phrase. You then thought, since they couldn't have been the people who came up with that phrase in the first place, that this claim was stupid. Davy, my little friend Swiftheart Rabbit is here to help you out. Swiftheart here is what you call a Care Bear cousin. You know how I can make sure he's a real Care Bear family member? Right here on his bum, there's a little heart letting me know he's a Care Bear. It also has a tiny TM. That stands for trademark. If I start making stuffed animals with little hearts on their bum and calling them Care Bears, I would be in legal trouble. Even though the greeting card company that originally came up with the Care Bears probably wasn't the first person to ever say the words Care Bear, they were the ones with enough foresight to trademark it. And that means you can't use it to market your brand and your sportsbook product. So why don't you learn to play nice and leave well enough alone? Thanks, Swifty. Now, learning to play nice can be hard sometimes. Just ask Governor Andrew Cuomo and the Seneca tribe. You see, these two have been in a nasty, nasty fight for almost 3 years because of a contract dispute. The two groups made an agreement in 2002 to be friends, and it also gave the Seneca tribe exclusivity to offer casino gaming in certain areas of upstate New York. The deal was for 14 years. Then, if both groups still wanted to be friends, the contract would be extended another 7. So, in 2016, they got together. They said they were happy by and large, though Seneca did feel that Cuomo greenlighting upstate commercial casinos wasn't a very nice thing to do. Nonetheless, the agreement got extended through 2023. Here's the tricky part. The compact never explicitly stated that the money Seneca paid New York during the first 14 years would continue. Seneca Nation decided that meant they didn't have to pay anything. Governor Cuomo disagreed and then got very, very mad. Per the agreement, the dispute ended up in arbitration, and the arbitrators sided with the state. Seneca still wasn't satisfied and said that because the arbitrators didn't consult the Department of the Interior on its interpretation of the deal, they hadn't done their due diligence under the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act. The case then ended up in the U.S. Court of Appeals. This week, the court issued a ruling siding with the state. According to the ruling, the tribe now owes $435 million in back payments to the state through local taxes. All said and done, the tribe had the following to say. The Seneca Nation is reviewing today's decision and discussing all of our options at this time. The New York case involves some big bucks that will help the New York budget if the Seneca Nation chooses to pay up. Another state reaping the benefit of online gambling is Michigan. The state launched online sports betting, casino, and poker last month, and the Michigan Gaming Control Board recently issued the first round of numbers from the new industry. Yeah, that's not going to work. Sorry, Piggy. In the first 10 days of operation, Michigan sportsbooks generated $13.3 million in revenue, and casinos produced almost $30 million in revenue. Bettors placed $115 million in bets at the sportsbook. Unsurprisingly, FanDuel and DraftKings are at the top of the sports betting ranks, but what's a little interesting is that 4 sportsbooks all had a comparable share of the market. FanDuel grabbed 28.3%, DraftKings had 24.5%, Barstool netted 23.9%, and BetMGM managed 19.8%. The other 7 brands that launched only have a piece of the remaining 3.5% of the market. Meanwhile, on the casino side, BetMGM was way out front of the competition with 37.7% of the market. DraftKings was second with 23.6%, and FanDuel was right behind with 22.6%. If you're wondering how Barstool fared, its product actually didn't go live until February, so there are no numbers available on it yet. Like Illinois before it, Michigan is off to a fast start. Here are two neighbors, each succeeding. Isn't that nifty? Now, all Illinois needs to do is greenlight its new online casino bill, but that's a talk for another time. In the meantime, thanks for spending your time with me, neighbors. I'll catch you next time on Play USA to Z.